A school threat is under investigation here in Kent. More ahead.
A local jazz festival featured a performance from a Kent State professor.
And the inflation in the United States might face some changes, and we have all the details.
And get a sneak peek of the upcoming Emmy Awards. All this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. Thank you for joining us for the first show of the semester. I'm Nuried Hurtado.
And I'm Blakley.
We start tonight with a gun threat made to a local high school today.
Kent Roosevelt High School went into lockdown around 10 a.m. this morning, making it the second threat 2 consecutive school days. Our reporter Sydney Brown has all the details. Sydney?
Thanks, guys. The Kent City School District had 2 lockdowns in the past few days. I spoke to parents and students to see how they reacted in the moment and what they want to be done in the future. At around 10 a.m. this morning, Kent Roosevelt High School went into lockdown after a 15-year-old student made a threat on social media.
My personal reaction and my brother's reaction and a lot of people I know, their reaction was, keep calm during the storm, keep calm when it's all happening, and then about 20 minutes later, just shut down.
Kent police sent out a statement around noon saying that the school initiated safety procedures when the student who made the threat was not where he was supposed to be. Authorities then detained the suspect and the school day resumed.
The weird thing is they didn't really let people out at all. I had to get approval from my parents, and you weren't really allowed to just leave.
This lockdown comes after a gun threat was made to the elementary school on Friday.
So my daughter, she was very shaken up. They had went over the intercom and said, this is not a drill. This is a lockdown. They were locked in their rooms. In 3rd grade, she was crying. She was scared. In fact, today she was a little nervous to go in.
But the community is calling for more urgent communication from the district.
The individual schools themselves, I think, are handling it well. They do have extra, police presence at walls currently. The teachers have been great as far as talking to us individually as parents and the students themselves. I just think it's been handled so poorly from the district side, right?
The school district did release a statement around 4 p.m. today addressing the threats and explaining their emergency response protocols. But some students are wanting better action.
I want stronger security for the schools, like some sort of door handle lock or deadbolt lock, even just in a classroom, so that if there is an intruder, if the door opens outward, you can at least have a chance at stopping it.
Kent police are still investigating, and we will continue to keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting live from Franklin Hall Studio, I'm Sydney Brown.
Thank you, Sydney. U.S. News has again named Kent State one of the top public schools in the nation in its newly released rankings. The university ranks number 107 among public institutions in the nation and is the highest-ranked institution in Northern Ohio. Kent State nursing, business, and computer science programs are also recognized on the best undergraduate degree list. In addition to being recognized on the top public schools list, Kent State is included on the best national universities list, moving up 1 spot to number 212. Kent State Twinsburg Academic Center is celebrating its 10th anniversary today. TAC will hold a public open house tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. to celebrate this milestone. All the community members partner with the center, alumni, donors, faculty, staff, and students are invited to enjoy a tour, appetizers, and a commemoration.
Kent State University. Kent State University has announced they plan to help train workers for Intel factories along with 13 other institutions in Ohio. This came in response to President Biden leading the groundbreaking of Intel semiconductor factories Friday. The university will receive a $1.1 million grant over 3 years to fund the training programs. The programs will include revitalizing the associate degree programs, providing rooms and supplies for training, and partnering with other institutions to offer training in augmented reality.
Hello all, Portage County in Northeast Ohio. I'm TV2 weather anchor Odin Amador-Gorby with your Friday evening forecast. Or no, Monday, sorry. I should have said. Anyway, currently in Kent is 73 degrees outside right now, and dew points at 53, winds east at 11 miles per hour, humidity at 51%, visibility at 9%. It is definitely a warm evening out there across our area, and as we look across our state tonight, we will see that Cleveland is at 71, 73 in Kent, 68 towards Sandusky, 68 in Mansfield, 70 in Worcester, 71 in Ashby-DeVille, and Youngstown at 74. It is definitely a warm night out there, to say the least. And our hour-by-hour forecast, we can clearly see that towards your 7 o'clock, sunny skies, but then towards your 9 o'clock, clear skies will resume with highs or lows in the 60s. Towards 11 o'clock, 57 degrees and cloudy skies. That's all I have for now. In my next update, I'll have your 7-day outlook ahead. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Thanks, Odin. A resident of Northeast Ohio won $500,000 in the Lucky for Life lottery Saturday, making them the second person in Northeast Ohio to win the prize this week. Ohio lottery officials say it was an auto-pick ticket purchased in Rootstown, and the winner matched 5 numbers, only missing the top prize by failing to match the lucky ball. The odds of winning the top prize are 1 in over 30,000. The Blue Jazz Club in Akron hosted its 7th annual Rubber City Jazz Festival last weekend. The event featured several artists, including Kent State University jazz professor Bobby Salvaggio Quartet. The Jazz Festival is organized by Open Tone Music, a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing music education and performance to the youth of Northeast Ohio since 2010.
Gas prices dropped around Northeast Ohio this past weekend, according to new data released by GasBuddy early today. In Akron, gas price dropped about 16 cents per gallon, giving an average of $3.45. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, the gas prices have fallen 10.3 cents per gallon, but remain 52.6 cents more expensive than a year ago.
Akron police are trying to identify a suspect who they say shot a 47-year-old man while he was on his porch Friday night. According to the police, 3 men walked by and, quote, words were exchanged between them and the man before one of them shot him in the arm. He was taken to Summit Health Akron City Hospital, and his injury is non-life-threatening.
A 14-year-old boy was arrested in downtown Akron on Sunday evening after nearly striking pedestrians on his four-wheeler. A police call for service last night reported numerous motorcycles, scooters, and one four-wheeler driving near the federal house. The teenager was only one arrested that night and is charged with reckless driving.
And coming up, which Kent-based charity is supplying food to local animal shelters?
Jeff Bezos' latest Blue Origin has faced his first launch failure. More after the break.
The College of Public Health at Kent State University prepares students for careers in some of today's most exciting health fields. Public health professionals impact lives by monitoring clinical trials, advocating for mental health, supporting active lifestyles, and more. The College of Public Health also offers open courses for any major, including its most famous course, Zombie Outbreak. Public health students can even study abroad and are encouraged to join the Public Health Student Alliance. For more information, visit kent.edu/public health. Public health, solving our problems together.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Welcome back. Props for Paws hosted a fundraiser on Saturday at the Kent State Airport to collect supplies for local animal shelters.
Our own Olivia Sharp went to the event this weekend and got all the details.
Props for Paws is a Kent-based charity that has been supplying food to the Summit County Humane Society as well as the APL of Portage County since 2011. The idea for the charity came to Dave Paluga and Jim Sebastian while at the Kent State Airport one day.
I was walking down the ramp one day to go to an airplane. Dave was walking up the ramp, and I said, hey, Dave, we should probably get that Props for Paws program going. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And that was really the beginning of it.
What started as a project between two friends has now grown to include many other students, including those within Kent's aviation program.
I heard about it through the airport. We were selling t-shirts, and I just asked how I could get involved.
Now that Props for Paws has been around for a decade, Sebastian is hoping it soars to new heights in its 11th year, with the charity hoping to collect 10,000 pounds of food. But the best part of their mission happens during the delivery.
This is fun doing this, but when you deliver the food to the shelters and you actually get to see the animals that you're helping, it becomes really real then. So it's something tangible. You can actually see the end result, and it's not just abstract animals or abstract creatures. You actually see the animals that you're helping.
While the charity's biggest fundraising event took place on Saturday at the Kent State Aeronautics and Engineering Expo, there are still ways to help support the cause.
They can just simply go onto Chewy, Amazon, whatever they want to do. They can just order a bag of food and have it delivered to the airport.
Reporting for TV2 News from the Kent State University Airport, I'm Liv Sharp.
With flu season approaching and COVID cases back on the rise, here's what to expect when considering vaccines and boosters. I'm Anthony Leonardi. Several counties in Northeast Ohio, including Cuyahoga and Summit County, have fallen from high to medium COVID risk over the summer. Portage County sits at a medium risk with 209 COVID cases per 100,000 people a week, according to the CDC. Stark and Wayne counties have both increased risk levels, with Stark rising to medium and Wayne to high risk. People ages 12 and older in the U.S. are now eligible to get their first updated COVID-19 vaccine booster. CNN's Mandy Gaither reports in today's Health Minute.
They're updated boosters designed to target both the original strain of coronavirus and Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5. Dr. Lena Nguyen says reformulated vaccines like these could one day become routine.
It's something that's done for the flu vaccine every year, that to predict the new emerging variants, new emerging strains, that there is an updated booster.
The CDC recommends that everyone 12 and older get the updated booster as long as they've already had their primary series of shots, but they should wait at least 2 months since their last vaccine dose. People 18 and over can get either the updated Pfizer or Moderna shot, while those 12 and up are eligible for an updated Pfizer shot. Nguyen says certain groups should go get the booster right away.
It is individuals who are 50 and older with chronic medical illnesses, individuals who have not yet gotten any vaccine this year. They should absolutely go ahead and get that reformulated booster as soon as possible.
Nguyen says if you've just recovered from COVID, you can probably wait about 3 months before getting the updated booster because the risk of reinfection in that time period is very low. As for children under 12 who are not eligible for the latest shot,
I'm sure that this reformulated booster is also going to be made available for younger children, but at this point, I would not worry about kids under the age of 12.
On the other hand, Nguyen urges parents with kids under 12 who haven't been vaccinated to go get those shots, even if your children have been recently infected with the coronavirus. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Flu vaccines will be available for all full and part-time employees as well as dependent children 18 years or older on all Kent State campuses. The university said health screenings such as blood pressure and weight management will also be made available in December. You must register for an appointment online. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has advised pediatricians to be alert for a rare but serious respiratory infection in young children. It's called the enterovirus D68, which can lead to paralysis, and its symptoms are similar to a common cold. Children under 10 and those with asthma are at high risk for the disease. Parents are advised to contact their doctor if their child is having difficulty breathing or as symptoms worsen. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Anthony Leonardi.
Thanks, Anthony. U.S. consumers are expecting inflation to fall sharply in both the short and long term, according to a new survey from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Numbers dropped for both 1- and 3-year inflation expectations. This as gas prices continue to fall down to a national average of $3.71 per gallon. The survey, which measures consumers' expectations for overall inflation as well as prices for food, gas, housing, and education, is one of 3 key inflation-related costs to be released this week.
A potential massive railroad strike could bring 40% of the nation's freight to a halt Friday. The 7 unions involved represent 90,000 workers on the nation's freight railroads, and they are demanding salary increases and back pay for the hours they've worked since 2020. A prolonged strike could cause factory closures, raised prices, and empty shelves in stores.
Holidays are around the corner and UPS is getting ready. The company says it is now looking to hire more than 100,000 people to work over the holidays. About 80% of the positions that need to be filled do not even require an interview, and the hiring process only takes about 25 minutes to finish. Last year, nearly 35,000 seasonal employees landed permanent positions after the holidays.
Automotive maker Ford recalled over 200,000 Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators after learning their heating and cooling fan motors can catch fire. The specific models being recalled were built between 2015 and 2017. So far, the company has received reports of 25 fires. 12 of those caused extensive damage to the vehicles. The company has begun reaching out to owners and is asking customers to bring those vehicles back for free repairs.
Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look at your statewide temperatures right now. We can clearly see Akron at 72, 74 in Steubenville, 67 in Lima, 72 in Columbus, 72 in Dayton, and 72 in Cincinnati. And Athens, Ohio at 74 degrees. It's definitely a warm night out there, to say the least. But if you live out towards the country, it's a lot cooler compared to the city, where temperatures are going to be bumped up a bit because of the heat island effect. And as we look at our local radar, we can clearly see we have some rain showers towards Lima, which is probably keeping the temperatures down a little bit. But other than that, those rain showers may not really affect us until later on in the evening, so we'll be okay for now. And your 7-day outlook, as we could clearly see towards Tuesday, we will be dealing with some rain showers, but then those rain showers will clear as highs go up into the 80s towards your Wednesday, followed by sunny skies and highs in the 70s for your Thursday, and then cloudy skies will continue for your Friday with 80 degrees, and then the rest of the week will be sunny with highs up in the 80s. So it's definitely going to be a nice one out there for sure, except for Tuesday. But that's about wraps up my Monday evening weather forecast. Please stay cool out there. Have a great week, everyone.
U.S. Senator Bob Portman fears the Marriage Equality Act he is co-sponsoring doesn't have the votes to pass the Senate. The Prospective Marriage Act would make sure that every legal marriage would be considered legitimate and would prohibit any state from discriminating against same-sex couples married in other states. Senator Portman would need at least 9 GOP senators to join him in the voting.
Now we're finally doing something about it. We're finally getting it done. We're turning Infrastructure Weekend from a punchline, as my predecessor, into an infrastructure decade on our watch.
Funds from the bipartisan infrastructure package passed late last year are now being used to improve roads, bridges, and airports. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act will provide $550 billion of new federal investments over 5 years. The projects that have been awarded funds so far are the renovation of Terminal E at Boston Logan International Airport, the adding of a berth at Port Tampa Bay, the construction of a pedestrian bridge in Phoenix, and the installation of a snow melting system in New Hampshire.
Trump's legal team urged the court to not grant the Justice Department's request for further access to classified documents seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago house. According to the DOJ, it's a matter of national security. However, a jury has paused the review of the documents. She wants to appoint a special master to filter private information first, but the Justice Department says it needs to see the documents now.
Blue Origin rocket experienced a booster failure during an unmanned launch of its New Shepard rocket from West Texas Monday morning. It triggered an abort system in which the capsule separated from the rocket and parachuted to Earth. The Federal Aviation Administration noted there were no injuries or property damage reported. This is the first major failure for Blue Origin since its transition to routine commercial flights. And stick around to hear about a world champion bull rider who's just 9 years old.
Kent State's football team went to Oklahoma over the weekend for a date with the 7th-ranked Sooners. Find out how they fared when we return right after this.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008.
He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties.
He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Corrali, and here is what's happening in the sports world in Portage County and beyond. The Kent State football team traveled to Norman, Oklahoma to take on the 7th-ranked Sooners and fell by the final score of 33-3. The Golden Flashes had a 3-0 lead in the second quarter thanks to a 37-yard field goal from Andrew Glass. However, a surge that saw Oklahoma quarterback Dylan Gabriel throw for 3 touchdowns was the difference as the Sooners ran away with the game. Kent State will look to bounce back as they will play their first game at Dick Stadium on Saturday at noon against the Long Island Sharks. Last week, the NFL's regular season kicked off as here at home, Cleveland Browns fans were ready for a new season on Sunday. The Browns hit the road to take on the Carolina Panthers and squared off against their old friend and quarterback Baker Mayfield. So, will Cleveland climb to a Week 1 win for the first time since 2004? Let's head to the highlights in Charlotte to find out. As coming up here shortly, we're going to get a look at quarterback Jacoby Brissett. There he is, number 7 for the Browns, new quarterback for the first 11 games. And there's our old friend, number 6, Baker Mayfield. A lot of questions as to how is he going to play to start off. Well, early second quarter, picked off by safety Grant Dilpett there for the Browns. So let's go to the next drive as Baker's like, nah, that's my first mistake, no big deal. First and goal, Jacoby will throw a near side to Kareem Hunt. That's how we kick off the scoring in Charlotte. It's a touchdown for the Browns, 7-0 Cleveland. Next drive, 2nd and 5. Cleveland driving as there's Kareem Hunt taking it to the outside and he's in. He's got one through the air, one through the ground. The Browns are up 14-0. But the Carolina Panthers have a little response to that as Christian McCaffrey leaps into the end zone for the score. It's 14-7 Browns. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Browns up 20-7, but Baker Mayfield on a 3rd and 5 sees a hole wide open up the middle and will take it himself for the score. That cuts the lead to 20-14. Now with 6:13 left, Browns up 23-14. Baker sets. He's going to launch a deep one. Hopefully someone's open, and Robbie Anderson is 75 yards. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a ball game. It's 23-20. 23-21 Cleveland. Later in the game, new Panthers kicker Eddie Pinheiro, 34 yards for the lead, and he got it. But look at that time, 1:13 left, and that's exactly what Cleveland needed as rookie kicker out of LSU, Cade York, the Browns' 4th-round draft pick from 58 yards, knocks it through. And for the first time in nearly 18 years, the Browns are winners in Week 1 by the final score of 26-24. On Friday night, TV2 was out in the area covering some of the biggest high school football games around, and here is how they fared. Barberton traveled here to Kent to take on the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and the Magics took care of business by the final score of 30-7 to go back to 500 at 2-2. The Medina Bees improved to 3-1 thanks to a home win against the Stowe Bulldogs, 55-21. Finally, the Hudson Explorers jumped to 4-0 with a 31-13 home win against the Wadsworth Grizzlies in a battle of unbeatens. For highlights of these games and more, stay tuned to Sports Corner, streaming live right here on KentWire.com at 8 o'clock. That will do it for us at Sports. For more TV2 Sports coverage, follow us across social media at TV2 KSU Sports. For TV2 Sports, I'm Matt Corrali, saying wherever the ball flies in the air, TV2 Sports will be there. Good night.
Is chocolate your favorite milkshake flavor? We have great news for you coming up.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Plant seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
A fearless New Mexico kid is taking bull riding to another level. Parker Hooks, who is just 9 years old, became a bull riding world champion in the Texas World Finals. Hooks says he's been wanting to ride bulls since first seeing the sport when he was a toddler. He started training on sheep and small cows, and then moved on to small bulls. Hooks took home some bull riding belt buckle bling after the win.
Kenan Thompson, the longest-running Saturday Night Live cast member ever, has been chosen to host the 75 Emmy Awards. Thompson has won 1 Emmy and has been nominated 5 other times. Kenan said being part of this incredible evening where they honor the best of the TV community is, quote, ridiculously exciting. The show will air live tonight on NBC and will stream on Peacock. Get your blenders ready. Today is National Chocolate Milkshake Day. Ice cream lovers, chocolate lovers, and anyone with a sweet tooth, this is your day to indulge.
Observe by enjoying a chocolate milkshake at your favorite restaurant or whip up one of your own. So, Nuried, are you going to be celebrating Chocolate Milkshake Day? Because I know that I definitely am.
Yeah, I am. That's for sure. After this, I'm getting a milkshake tonight.
That sounds like a great plan.
And about the Emmys, I heard that Stranger Things is nominated. I'm so excited about that.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch the Emmys.
Me neither. That's so exciting. That I don't know, Stranger Things deserve it, and I know that there's a lot of shows that deserve it too, so I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. It's going to be so good.
That
wraps up our show for today. Thanks for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website, KentWire.com, and our social media platforms at KentWire. I'm Nuried Hurtado.
And I'm Alexa Blakley. Have a great night, Portage County.
Danse, balance sur la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex? Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Good. Homemade noodles. Oh. Marty, stop it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Oh, reminds me. I've been thinking maybe we should try a new form of birth control. I heard about this one. It's called the IUD, intrauterine device. Or we could try the patch on your arm. Actually, I think that one goes on your butt.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
What do you think, then? Arm or the butt?